Howdy folks, I'm continuing on with another brew from a home brewer with another method that he says is getting him really good results with his kit-based beers. Now, I really would rather leave this one a little bit longer, but two brewers sent me beers very close to, they're right the day apart from one another last week, and they've both been taken off the keg. So I don't want to leave them too long and have them go, awry. So I'm getting into it now while I can, and while I still can get, I think, the best out of the beer. So what I've got here, this is a beer from Jim Best, who has been a very, let's say, an energetic brewer since taking up the craft. I'm assuming reasonably recently, and he's put some effort into finding ways of getting around, issues with the kit beers, and he's come up with methods of getting a beer to his liking, which he claims or believes to have little or no twang. Now, he doesn't actually say he's got no twang, but he's saying that he's not really picking it up. I've just had a look back through. He is using a whack of maltodextrin. He's been a proponent for using maltodextrin, and he uses stevia tablets in his kegs. And he believes this combination is what's leading to, well, he's talking about getting a nice creamy mouthfeel and body from the maltodextrin, which I'm not doubting that he wouldn't be getting. And he's also saying that the stevia is having a very positive effect on the twang. Like I said, he's never said it actually gets rid of the twang, but the implication is that that's sort of what it's doing. That the resulting beer at the end of the day doesn't have the kit twang. Like I said, not a lot of it. He brews, again, it's basic ingredients, Woolworths lager, and this is what led me to getting initially the Woolies lager and the draft which is currently fermenting in the fridge, on this second part of the Twang File experiment. But he's using Woolworths lager with dry malt, a whack of maltodextrin, and dextrose. So he's using the standard ingredients, but he's upping the maltodextrin level of in the beers. Now, I generally am very much against the use of maltodextrin, simply because it does produce that heaviness in the beer, and I've commented that it works in certain styles. For me, a lager is not a style that maltodextrin should be getting used in. That should be a light-bodied beer with a little bit of thinness and crispness. It's not, for me, a beer that should be creamy and whatnot, though there are styles of lager where you do get some quite solid mouthfeel and body. So we'll see how we're going to go. I'm going to crack this very, very shortly. Now, I'm not exactly sure what is in this beer. He had a post up early in the month, and I'm assuming this is the same. This is going to be the same brew. He was talking about Pale Ale 1. This says it's got a 1. Clearly, to me, is a 1 on top. He had a post about. I was a bit concerned how that was going to go. He had a post earlier in the month about his beer, resembling, tasting like, similar to a Stone and Wood. That someone had mentioned you know, to him that they thought it had a similar sort of a taste. He did cop a bit of a, not a big roasting, but there was a little bit of chat around him not really making that sort of thing. But okay, there's definitely some fruity notes on the nose. So I'm imagining at this point that this is the same brew. So as I said, it's the Tooheys Lager. Now it's a larger batch, but 2 tins of Woolies Lager, 2 kilos of light dry malt, 1 kilo of maltodextrin, and 550 gram dextrose. Now the reality is that's basically you're talking about using those numbers, a base of a BE3 and then adding some extra dry malt and some extra maltodextrin. So it's not an outrageous sort of malt combination. He's got, take out this batch, he had Vic Secret and Citra in, made as a hot tea. There you go, made up to 60 litres. OG 1040, final gravity 1016, ABV of 3.1, 3.2. So it's a lightish beer. Now it's got quite a whack of gas here because he has bottled this off his keg. He has then used a carb cap, which he had to go and buy one, and while he was there he bought a second one and sent it with the beer. So I've now got a carb cap, which is good because I've never had one. But anyway, that's going to come in handy. So Jim, thanks for that if you're seeing this and watching. But so what he did, he bottled it off his keg. He squeezed the air out of it, he stuck a carb cap on, jammed, he hit it with 30 psi of CO2, then apparently gave it a shake to get it all mixed in there. So that explains why she's a little bit overgassed. But he was very worried about it not getting here with any gas, not having gas at all. So there she be. She's poured, I mean, given the extra, it's poured reasonably easily. It's looking pretty good. Yeah. Nah, she's not crystal clear by any stretch, but it's got some good, it's reasonably clear. Yeah, so smelling that this is definitely the beer in question. There's no doubt. That is not a basic. So I don't know, so I'm assuming that this is sort of his standard sort of beer. This is the standard sort of brew he does. He obviously does others, but he does stout and stuff. But I think this is more his sort of a go-to. So as I said, the question here is about, has it knocked out the twang? Smells good. Let's have a go at it. Okay. Okay, there's a big go on there from several different angles. There's some nice flavour in the beer, and I can see why someone has commented about it being similar to a Stone and Wood, but very much from that generic, just fruity sort of a flavour. And this is part of where it caught some ribbing, was around the fact that there's no Galaxy in his brewers. But as someone else commented, Vic's Secret is not far off Galaxy, and the Citra, well, actually Jimmy commented that the Vic's Secret is similar to Galaxy, with the Citra supporting it. It does get a similar sort of note. The Galaxy, Stone & Wood uses Galaxy and Vic's Secret, so to a palate that's not finely tuned, yes, it is. Yes, ballpark. It's a similar sort of a flavour. So I don't think that's an unfair comparison. Okay. Look, there's twang there. There's no doubt. It's not big. It's not big. There's hops there to cover it. The maltodextrin has certainly created a heavy body. And as I said, for me, it is too heavy. But it's a very dense beer. For me, for a beer that really, in reality, should be quite light and vibrant, it's not. It's got that nice fruit flavour coming off the back. But in all honesty, whether the maltodextrin, and I'm gonna say the maltodextrin is probably playing a fair part in covering that twang. And again, this is part of why I wanted to taste this beer, and because I want to be yardstick with what he's doing. So when I do that worst lager tin, I've got some sort of memory to work off. Because I don't know, I haven't done the Woolworths Lager kit, and as I said, I really would have liked to have been able to hold this beer off until I had done that tin, so I had a direct comparison, seeing how that tin itself, how it turns out, how much twang is inherent in that tin. What the Stevia's done, I really couldn't say. I can't really pinpoint any flavour which I could associate with the stevia. I'm going to assume that it's working with that maltodextrin within that body and that depth and that mouthfeel. It's all sort of coming together as one thing. So is it a magic solution? Is it a really workable thing? Given the other things that are going on in this beer, I can't say. But I am going to play around with that, and that's going to happen on the current batch of the draft that's getting fermented. It's going into bottles. I'm going to go with the stevia tablets in some of those bottles, so I can directly compare exactly what the stevia itself does. Is the stevia alone going to have an effect against what the tin is otherwise? There is some maltodextrin in that Brewers B. It's been made with BE2, but only the standard amount. It hasn't had an increased amount added to it. But look, I can see how a brewer is going to be very happy with that beer, because without looking at it, you know, too hard, it drinks, yeah, quite well. There's not a big bang of twang. There's not any, yeah, obvious off flavours. As I said, just for me, it's just not a whole package. The thing, I really wouldn't want to sit down and drink too many of these. And I said that's more from that body coming from the maltodextrin. And I get that. I understand what he's trying to do. I think at 3.2% ABV, without it, you can potentially get a very, very thin beer. But I would certainly be looking at pulling the amount down. But then again, I said it's an integral part of this recipe, and part of the reason why it's so not easy to brew those lower strength beers. But Jim, mate, overall, that's a nice beer for a kit beer that, yeah, let's say, Woolworths, the Woolies lager base. It's cheap. What are we looking at? Price-wise, 2 cans of lager. What are they, about $12 each? I think $11 odd. 24. Another $22 worth of malt. 22, 24, 45, 50, 53. He's looking at maybe, $60 to $65 for a 60-litre batch. They only, $1 a litre, maybe fraction over for a bit of wastage. But you're talking, 45 cent schooner. Yeah. No, it's going all right. So mate, thank you for the beer. Like I said, you haven't stood me hair on end. You haven't curdled me bloody taste buds, which is a good thing. And again, the same as with the other beer. I guess we've got two brewers here which have moulded a beer into what they're after, and they're getting a result that, clearly in both cases they're happy with. And I've always said that this is what brewing's about. It's not necessarily about making the absolute greatest beer. It's about making the beer that beer that you're happy with, and that you enjoy drinking. That's what they're getting. So yeah, good on them. But yeah, certainly more food for thought, and more things that we can work into ongoing brews. More bricks in that bloody little bit of a wall that's building up to, hopefully making that bloody new beauty fucking kit-based brew. But anyway, guys and dolls, thanks for watching. Big shout out to all the Patreons. Thanks for the support, guys. Links down the bottom. If you subscribe to the channel, thank you. If you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification button while you're there. If you like what's going on, give me a like. If you've got any comments or any questions, down the bottom, as always. Jim, I said, mate, again, thank you very much. I see why you're enjoying drinking that at home. But anyway, that's me, Little John. There's heaps of stuff still to come in the Twang Files. Stay tuned, because going forward we'll be brewing beer, drinking beer and talking beer. So till I see you again, good brewing.